Hey, good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Innu, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Bill Moratsky. I will be chairing this hearing this morning. With me, the other two members on the panel, joining via Zoom, are Gail Anderson and Clay Purvis. The assessors this morning are Stephen Zabudny and Arka Darkanov, who are present in the room. And our secretary is Phoebe Graywood. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note you are placed in the waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted to the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing has concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and City administration. It makes decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will conform the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all of the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We will be hearing items 4, 7, 8, and 10 on our docket today. Ms. Graywood, please affirm the assessors and the applicants for item number 4 testimony. And I believe the applicant is not yet present for item 4.
I'll just run the scissors first here.
Okay.
Mr. Zabudny, can you get this down? Say your full name.
Stephen Zabudny?
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Seated. Trust for your. Can you say your full name?
I
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
affirm.
Thank you. Right, Mr. Nguyen, just gonna ask you to unmute your.
Yep.
Okay, Can I get you to state your full name?
My name is Dewey Hugh Nguyen.
And do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna state that we're going to be moving item 4 until the end of the meeting, the back end of the meeting. So then we will begin with item number 7, which is 725 Maryland. And that is an appeal of assessed value. And Mr. Assessor, you can begin your presentation on item number 7.
The subject property is roll number 130-502-38100. It's also known as 725 Maryland. It's in the neighborhood of Daniel McIntyre. It is a 1 3/4 story single dwelling built in 1907, with an effective age of 1907. The property has a square footage of 1,332 square feet. Has a full basement that is not finished. There are 2 full baths in the dwelling. There are no half baths and no showers. There's no central air conditioning on the property. We don't have any fireplaces. The property does have a single detached garage, and it is on a lot that is 2,943 square feet. Some land influence for the property. We have bus route, commercial adjacent, heavy traffic. I have 4 comparables here today. They are all in the Daniel McIntyre area. All comparables, or sorry, 2 comparables are 1 3/4 stories. That'll be comp 3 and comp 4. Comp 2 is a 1 1/2 story, and comp 1 is a 2 story. They're all single family dwellings. The year built ranges from 1905 to 1929. And the effective age ranges from 1905 to 1939. The range of square footage of the comparables is 1,182 square feet to 1,344 square feet. They all have full basements. Comp 2 and comp 3 have finished basements, while comp 1 and 3 do not. All comparables, or sorry, comp 1 and comp 2 have 2 full bathrooms. Comp 4 has 1 full bathroom, and comp 4 has 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, and 1 shower, and comp 3 has 1 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom. None of the comparables have air conditioner except comp 4. None of the comparables have fireplaces. All the comparables have single detached garages except for comp 3. The square footage, assessed lot size square footage ranges from 2,640 square feet to 3,699 square feet. All the comps have a lot of land influences here, so I'll go through them one by one. Comparable 1 has bus route influence, bus stop influence, commercial adjacent influence, community/rec building, and heavy traffic. Comp 2 has a bus route influence, bus stop influence, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic. Comp 3 has a bus route influence, commercial adjacent influence, and heavy traffic, and comp 4 has a bus route influence and medium traffic. The comp sale dates range between January of 2022 to December of 2022. The sale price ranges from 155,000 to 211,000, and that would be a price per square foot range of 115,000 to 178,000. Time adjusted sale price, time adjusted to April 1st, 2023, we would have a range of 144,000 to 200,000, and that would leave us with a price per square foot of 107,000 to 169,000, or sorry, 107 per square foot to 169 per square foot. My recommendation today is to maintain the current assessment of 127,000 for the 2025 assessment year, as supported by our comparables.
Okay, Mr. Applicant, do you have any questions for the assessor? On the assessor's presentation, please.
Yeah, so where comp 1 is actually further down, so they don't feel the influence, because my property is right across from the beer store. And then on the same block, when I submitted the evidence, sorry, I'm just a bit nervous. I'm not very good at speaking. On the same block, there's also a Delta 9. That's like a marijuana place. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I looked it up.
Yeah. So comp one is passed for that, so you don't deal with the same influence. Uh, comp two as well. The only property that's really close is comp three, which is next door to my house. And that is true. It got sold on February 22. However, the property is fully renovated. My property isn't. And then comp four, it's different blocks, so it doesn't deal with the same influence. And on the evidence I submitted, you can see in the picture, and one of them where
Mr. Nian, do you have any questions on his presentation before you get into your own presentation?
no.
Okay. Gail, do you have any questions for the assessor?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I'm wondering if this property was inspected.
It was not. I've requested an inspection or photos via email, and the times wouldn't work out for an inspection for the applicant. So I was not able to inspect the property.
Okay. And in regards to your comparables, which comparable would you say is most closely linked to, which would be the best comparable in your mind?
I would say comparable 3, 727 Maryland. It does need some adjustments, but like the applicant said, it's right next door. It has the same influence being in front of the beer vendor there. It was built in the same year, same square footage, no basement finish. So I would say that one.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Those are all my questions.
Thank you. Mr. Purvis, any questions for the assessor?
I don't think so. Just taking a look. There's no garage.
Sorry.
Just want to confirm comp 3. There's no garage. That's the only property that you use as a comp that doesn't have a garage. Is the next door house.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. That's all for me.
Okay. I guess the only one I have is your comparisons. You have time adjusted sale prices from 107. The square foot prices from 107 to 169. And you're putting the subject property at 95, so lower than all of them. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. As far as we know, this property is original. We haven't inspected it, but as far as we have it, it's one of the most inferior properties in terms of when compared to the comparable sales. So arguably it should be lower than the comparables.
What factors make it inferior to the other properties, which are all on the same street, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Or no, except for one that's on Arlington.
Yeah. Well, it has no effective age. All the comparables do except comp 1. It is very close to the 727 Maryland comparable. However, that one did have some renovations. I have the listing here. It said it had a remodeled washroom in 2019, painting 2021, some windows in 2021, furnace in 2019, and flooring in 2021. They didn't mention the kitchen. It is somewhat newer, maybe like 10, 15 years old, but so yeah.
All right. I have no further questions then. So, Mr. Nian, you can begin your presentation.
Yeah. So also, close by to my house, there's a place called the Balmoral Hotel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the place. It recently got closed down. There's also a beer vendor there, and since it has closed, it's during this year. I noticed there's more activity in the area. Like pretty much every day, there's police coming by my place, and in the front, there's always at least a minimum of 10 people at the beer store. So like the activity has got a lot worse. But when it comes to the other houses, The only one that's comparable is 727 Maryland. But that place originally was supposed to, they were asking for like 170, and the 155 was what they sold for. But that place, because I've been there, it's fully renovated. My property isn't. I wanted to submit more evidence about my kitchen and places, but I was having a bit of a hard time getting the from my phone to email. So, but if you want, I can show you the photos. I have it on my phone right now. But I guess like, yeah, I can't use that as evidence, right?
We wouldn't be able to do that in this setting, right? If you didn't submit the evidence previously.
Yeah, I didn't submit it in time because I was having problems. But yeah, like my place, there's no renovation that was ever done to it.
Are you finished with your presentation?
No. So my own assessment value is be 120.
120? Is that what you
Yep.
said? Okay, Mr. Feather, any questions for the applicant?
Yes, in your evidence here, there's this article about the Balmoral Hotel.
Yeah.
And in it, it says they plan to turn the beer vendor currently operating on the property into a walk-in clinic. Is that the beer vendor in front of your house, or?
No, that is nearby. It's like way a couple blocks down. But the thing is that usually at that area, there's a bunch of influences. But because that place closed down this year, they've all gathered to my area.
Oh, okay.
So the area's got a lot worse. And then I want to also, if you go to the scan at the bottom, there's a photo of the Delta 9, which is like on the same block where the beer store is. And because that opened up recently, and about in a year and a half or so, there's more bad influences. And like I said, every day, like compared to like a couple of years ago, it's like there's always police around, and there's at least like 10 people in front, day and night.
And then this article describes the plans for Balmoral to be a positive opportunity. Would you agree that it is?
I'm not sure because it's not done yet, right?
Yeah.
But at the moment, since the place has closed, all the people that were normally buying alcohol and drinking in front at the beer location, they now go to the Maryland one.
Oh,
So as of the moment, it's pretty bad. But if that opens up and it makes the area better, I don't know until that happens, right?
um, that'll be up. Thanks.
Mr. Purvis, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Which, I just wanted to clarify, which hotel is it across the street from you? I'm just,
The Maryland Hotel.
Maryland Hotel, and that's not the one being redeveloped, correct? Like that's,
No, the Balmoral one is like 2-3 blocks away, but it does have a beer vendor, and that one is the one that got closed.
okay. So what you're telling us is that all the beer traffic from the Balmoral,
Goes there now.
so that the Maryland is busier than it was a year ago.
Yes. And then yeah, it closed this year.
And what time? Do you know what time the beer vendor closes at the Maryland?
You mean the one across from my house?
Yeah, across from you. Yeah.
I would say the beer vendor may close like midnight, but the bar, because it's a beer store and a bar in the same building too. The bar, I have no idea. I've never gone there. I don't drink.
Okay, that's and then the Delta 9 store, it would be the same hours as like I think they're regulated their hours, right? The cannabis stores.
I don't know. I've never been there either, but I know it's because it opened up about maybe a year and a half ago. There's more traffic. Like people would just go buy, I guess, weed and stuff, and then just go over to the beer store and party and drink and stuff like that. Because at the beer vendor is a beer and it's also a bar and VLT machine there. Well, that's what's advertised. I've never gone in there, so.
Okay, that's my question.
Ms. Anderson, do you have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, I do. Is your property currently occupied? Like, do you live in your property or is it a rental property?
I live there with my mom. That's it.
Pardon me?
I live there with my mom.
Okay, okay.
Because originally my two brothers, they have their own families. They moved out, so it's just me and my mom.
Okay, okay. And you haven't done any improvements to the property?
No. The only thing I've done is just get a new fridge. That's about it.
Okay. And can you just indicate what value you're requesting the board consider for this property?
I would consider it at 120.
Okay. Thank you. Those are all my questions.
No, I think most of my questions, all my questions have been asked and answered already, so I do not have any questions. Mr. Assessor, do you have anything in summary for this?
Yeah, I would just like to summarize that the assessed value for this property has taken into account the area and the all the renovations that would be needed. And this is proven through the comparable sales. Like I mentioned, Comp 3, 727 Maryland, it has been renovated, but it sold for more than our assessed 2025 assessed value of the subject. So I feel like the area and the condition of the property are all taken into account for the 2025 assessment.
Amount. The amount he bought, I have no idea. But my place, it's not renovated. I don't have the money to renovate, and hopefully one day I'll be able to move out of the area. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, then, this item 725 Maryland is now concluded. And we will move then to item number 8, 1821 Notre Dame. And do we have the applicant present on that? Okay, so we will also move that to the back. And move on to item number 10, 98 Gertie Street. The applicant available for that. Okay, well, then we will have to go in camera for beginning with item number 4. And the board will deliberate on hearing that item. Okay, we are back. Board has deliberated on item number 4, 839 Ashburn Street, and has decided that we will hear this property appeal on assessed value. So Mr. Assessor, you may begin.
Okay, subject property is roll number 13096065500, also known as 839 Ashburn Street, and it is in the neighborhood of Minto. It is a one-story single-family dwelling built in 1914 with an effective age of 1924. The living area is 947 square feet. It has a full/part area basement. It does not have any basement finish. It has one full bathroom. It has central air conditioning. Does not have a fireplace. It has one single detached garage, and it sits on a lot that is 4,398 square feet. Next, I have 4 comparables here. All are in the same area of Minto. All are one-story single-family dwellings. The year builds range between 1922 to 1928, and then the effective age ranges between 1933 and 1946. Square footage, we're looking at a range of 777 square feet to 952 square feet. All are on full basements, with comp number 4 being full/part area basement. All have basement finish except for comp 1. All have one full bathroom except for comp 3, which also has a half bathroom. All the properties have all the comparables have central air conditioning except comparable 2. And then comparable 3 and 4 have a single detached garage. The square foot or the lot size ranges from 2,533 square feet to 3,533 square feet. The comps sale dates range between October of 2021 to November of 2022. The sale prices range between 227,000 to 259,000. And then the price per square foot ranges from 268,000 to 298,000. We have time adjusted sale prices to April 1st of 2023 that range between 218,000 and 247,000, with a price per square foot that ranges between 258,000 to 289,000. It's my recommendation to maintain the current assessment of 217,000 for 2025, as supported by the comparables I presented today.
Thank you. Ms. Anderson, any questions for the assessor?
I have a question about the subject sales that you provided relative to the appealed property. The 2020 sale price, 186,000, and in December 2017, 2 years earlier, it was 220,000. Were these both open market sales, or?
So, for the subject?
Yeah.
Could you look that up really quick? We're just gonna pull it up really quick.
Okay.
I do, so I have, let's see, I have a MLS listing, I believe. The 20, pardon me, the 2020 sale was open market on MLS. I'm just not 100% sure of the 2017 sale.
Okay.
It was on the market for 33 days.
In 2020?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and the best comparable you would say is?
I would say is comp 1, for a few reasons. It is on a larger lot. It was kind of hard for me to find larger lots in the area. It's similar year built. It's a little bit newer, but similar construction. It doesn't have a detached garage, but that can be adjusted for. So I'd say the comparable one.
Okay, and have you had an opportunity to inspect this property?
I have not, but I reviewed the MLS listing.
Okay.
So to answer the question, 2017 sale was listed on the multiple listing service.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that information. Thanks for your presentation. That's all my questions.
Mr. Purvis, any questions for the assessor? Believe you're muted.
Sorry, I thought I clicked it before I started talking. Ms. Anderson asked the questions. I had some questions regarding those subject sales. It's sort of I was curious with the drop in price between 17 and 20, but that's been answered.
If I can kind of continue with that one as well. So what would be the reason in your opinion that it went down from 2017 to 2020?
Well, I can probably answer the question, and it's timing, and you can remember what was January 2020. Is we actually were entering at that time a bit of a level in market, but then COVID started a few months later. And I guess the COVID craziness of the escalated market values began to happen. But from what I remember working in the assessment back in the day is that we were going to a market where the prices were leveling or actually going down slightly before the COVID.
I have no further questions then, so we can then conclude that property, item number 4839 Ashford Street. Next item then would be item number. Item number 8. Item number 8, 1821 Notre Dame. So the board will now go into in camera again and decide on the hearing of that property. We are back. The board has deliberated and we've decided that we will hear item number 8, 1821 Notre Dame. Appeal of assessed value and also appeal of property classification. Mr. Assessor, you may begin your presentation.
Subject property is roll number 0709031600. It's 1821 Notre Dame Ave. It is in the neighborhood of Brooklands. It is a single-story, single dwelling home built in 1950 with an effective age of 1950. It is 960 square feet. Has a full basement with no basement finish. It has one full bath, one half bath, and one shower. It does not have central air conditioning, and it has a single attached garage. The dwelling sits on a lot that is 5,975 square feet. This lot has influences such as bus route, commercial adjacent, and heavy traffic. The comparables I'm presenting today are all in the neighborhood of Brooklands, other than comparable 4, which is in the Weston neighborhood. They are all one-story dwellings, except for comp 2, which is a 1.5-story dwelling. They're all single dwellings. The year build ranges from 1920 to 1955, and we have effective age from 1920 to 1959. Square footage of the comparables ranges from 733 square feet to 972 square feet. They are all the basements are comp 3 and comp 4 are on full basement. Comp 2 is a full / part area basement, and comp 1 is surface foundation. Comp 2 and comp 4 have finished basements, while comp 1 and comp 3 do not. All comparables have one full bath, and comparable 4 has an extra half bath as well. Comp 1 does not have central air conditioning, while comp 2, comp 3, and comp 4 do. Comp 1 has a multiple detached garage. Comp 2 has a single detached garage. Comp 3 does not have any garages, and comp 4 has a multiple detached garage. Lot sizes range from 3,742 to 5,379. And as like the evidence I presented before, all have different influences, so I'll just go through them one by one. Comparable 1 has a bus route influence, commercial adjacent, heavy traffic. Comparable 2 has a bus route and heavy traffic. Comparable 3 has bus route and heavy traffic. Comparable 4 is bus route, commercial adjacent, external corner, and heavy traffic. The sales dates range between August of 2021 to September of 2022. Sale price ranges between 132,000 to 226,000. And that brings us to a price per square foot range of 180 to 315. Time adjusted sale price to April 1st of 2023 is has a range of 121,000 to 262,000, with a price per square foot range of $166 per square foot to $297. Recommendation is to maintain the current assessment of 194,000 for 2025, as supported by the comparable sales. I would like to verbally present some land sales as well. So this property has a permit to be demolished. It's ready to issue. It has not been demolished yet. So I wanted to review some land sales as well. All these land sales are in the Brooklands neighborhood. The lot sizes of these land sales range from 2,573 square feet to 3,947 square feet. And all these sales have either been vacant land or have had the building demolished after the sale. The sales took place between August of 2021 to May of 2022. The sales prices range from 102,000 to 171,000. with a price per square feet of $34 per square foot to $50 per square foot. And we have time adjusted sale prices on those that range between 113,000 per square foot to 178,000 per square foot, with a price per square foot range of $36 per square foot to 53. As I mentioned, I wanted to include these to further support the assessed value, as we are looking at a home that has a permit to be demolished on it.
You have got any classification?
Well, further classification, I guess, we already decided basically what I was gonna do.
Yeah, so burden of proof, section 53, 2, a board shall at a hearing of an application that pertains to liability, to taxation, or the classification of property, place, or the burden of proof on the applicant on matters at an issue with respect to liability to taxation or classification of a property. Burden of proof for non-cooperation. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, so basically, according to section 53(2), the burden of proof lies in respect to classification lies with the applicant. And unfortunately, applicant is not here to present their side of the story, so we ask to maintain the classification as is as well.
Okay.
Section 53(2), you said, right?
Yes.
That's your presentation.
Yeah, that's it.
Mr. Purvis, do you have any questions for the assessor?
I do. I have some questions regarding, first of all, I'm looking at this, I see comp 1 being the most similar. Would you agree with that? Or do you think one of the other comps is the more comparable?
In terms of, it's hard to say because I think both comp 1 and comp 2 are good. Comp 2 being good because of the lot size. However, the dwelling on it isn't the most similar, so I'd say be a mix between comp 1 and comp 2. They do both require adjustments.
One has surface foundation and smaller house.
Smaller house, yeah, surface foundation, so.
And and then I'm looking at the subject sale in 2021. Were you able to look at the pictures from that listing? Or?
That was a private sale. I was in contact with the property owner, but due to some circumstances, he didn't have time to discuss that sale, so I'm not sure if it was an arm's length sale or not. I can verify it at that time. So.
And then the other thing I've noticed is that the time adjusted price sales for all of the other properties have gone down from 21, 22 to current. But with this one, it's certainly gone up. Do you have any explanation for why the assessed square footage would have increased?
Well, the time adjusted sale prices in 2022, mid 2022, that was the high point in the market. If you were to look at a graph of these sale prices, it would have been increasing up until 2022. It hit a peak and then it decreased. So when we time adjust those properties that were in the higher end of the market there, we would be giving them a negative time adjustment to account for that. So that's why those would have went down.
Even comp 2 looks like it went down a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a couple months.
Maybe for another factor. I'm not too sure. These are the model driven time adjustments here. So I know in 2022 I can speak on those, but
Okay. I'm gonna defer to Ms. Anderson.
Ms. Anderson, any questions for the assessor?
I have no questions. They've been asked and answered. Thank you.
And I have no questions. Anything in summation? So then we can conclude item number 8, 1821 Notre Dame. And now we'll be moving to the next item, number 10, 98 Gertie Street. An appeal of value. And the applicant has still yet not arrived. So we will again go in camera and decide on hearing this property. Okay, we are back. The board has deliberated on the matter of hearing 98 Gertie Street in the absence of the applicant, and we have decided that we will hear this property. Mr. Assessor, you may begin the presentation.
Subject property is roll number 1306-121-0000, also known as 98 Gertie Street. It is in the neighborhood of West Alexander. It is a one-story single-family dwelling built in 1882 with an effective age of 1918. The dwelling is 780 square feet, has a full basement which is finished. We have 2 full baths on record. The dwelling does not have air conditioning and it has a single detached garage. The lot size is 3,327 square feet and it has a commercial adjacent influence. The 4 comparables presenting today are all in the West Alexander neighborhood, except for comparable 3, which is in Centennial. They are all one-story single-family dwellings. We have a range of year built between 1899 and 1930, and then a effective year built between the range of 1910 to 1943. Square footage ranges the property between 726 square feet and 860 square feet. All comparables have full basements except for comparable 3, which is a part basement. Comparable 2 and comparable 1 and comparable 2 both have basement finish, while comparable 3 and comparable 4 do not. All comparables have 1 full bathroom, with the exception of comparable 1, which has 2 full bathrooms and 1 shower. Central air conditioning is only on comp 2. The other comparables do not have central air conditioning. Comp 1 and comp 2 have a single detached garage, while comp 3 and comp 4 do not. Comp 4, which is a multiple attached garage. The lot sizes range from the comparables from 2,468 square feet to 3,274 square feet. Comp 1 and comp 2 have a commercial adjacent influence. Comp 3 has a community rec building influence, and comp 4 has bus route, commercial influence, and heavy traffic influence. The comparables sold between the days of May 2021 and March 2022. The sales prices range between $128,000 to $167,000, with a price per square foot of $156 per square foot to $222. Time adjusted sale price of the comparables range from $127,000 to $162,000, with a price per square foot adjusted range of $155 per square foot to $215. My recommendation is to maintain the assessment of $159,000 for the 2025 assessment year.
Ms. Anderson, any questions for the assessor?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Mr. Purvis?
I have no questions.
And I have no questions. Therefore, this concludes the matter on this property, 98 Gertie Street. And I believe we do not have any further properties to address. Therefore, we have heard all the items scheduled, and this hearing is now adjourned. Thanks a lot, guys.